Calvin, wake up. What are you doing, stupid?
Oh, man, you sure you got springs in this couch?
You know, you're gonna warp every bone in your body sleeping in that thing all night. Who invited you over here anyway?
Come on, don't be rude. Anyway, it had nothing to do with you. I just thought I'd take a nap. I must have passed out.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, you sound like you're all better.
Well, I feel like I just finished the Boston Marathon, but I guess I feel a lot better. I think my fever's breaking anyway.
Yeah? I thought for a while you were breaking up last night, the way you kept talking out of your head.
Why? What'd I say?
Oh, just one topic, my man. Bobby Gerard, Bobby Gerard, Bobby Gerard.
Bobby. That's right, I remember dreaming about Bobby Gerard. I even thought I saw her. I saw her in some kind of bizarre forest. I was trying to get her to tell me what really happened that night.
According to you, you already knew what happened. And then you kept repeating it over and over again.
Calvin, what did I say?
You said that you thought it was Sky Whitney who killed Bobby.
For Pete's sake, Raven, come on. The plane leaves in 2 hours, and you're still packing.
I am unpacking because these dresses are going to get messed up in here.
Shall I take these straight out to the car, Mrs.
What
Whitney?
more?
There are 3 more upstairs, sir.
Yes, you can take those out to the car, Spencer.
Are you bringing your entire wardrobe to Switzerland with you?
No, darling, I plan to buy a few things over there.
Wait, there must be a dozen pieces of luggage out in the car already. Where are we going to sit?
Well, you don't have to go, but I have to dress properly.
How about these pieces, sir?
Yeah, well, they'll fit. Put them in there.
Sir.
Oh, Spencer, wait a minute. I think this one's ready.
Yes, ma'am.
Baby, don't be mad at me. I have to take all those things because we might be there for months.
Yeah, I know, but you're packing as if we're going to be there for a lifetime. Oh, Geraldine, you needn't do that. Spencer will take the luggage outside.
It isn't one of yours, Skyler. The suitcase is mine.
Oh?
Yes, you see, I'm leaving the house this morning, too. But I'm leaving for good.
Now, Geraldine, there is no reason for this upset. You're simply overreacting.
I distinctly recall being asked to leave this house. I was only obliging.
I'm sure that Raven didn't mean what she said. She was feeling very upset herself.
For damn good reasons.
Well, you must understand how she was feeling, Geraldine. I mean, the idea of all these people ganging up against her husband, I was rather surprised myself.
Then you'll be equally glad that I'll be out of the house, Skyler. Then you won't have to give any thought to what happened that night at the Wiley dance studio.
There, you see what I mean? She's saying the same things again.
I'm sorry if you believe that I've been concealing something, Geraldine. I assure you it was all a misunderstanding.
Perhaps. But I am quite convinced that you are not at all straightforward with the police, with me, or with your wife.
And I don't want to hear any more of this because I heard enough of it at that stupid kangaroo court of yours.
That was rather a cruel thing to do to my poor wife, wasn't it, Geraldine?
I simply wanted Raven to hear the facts.
The lies. The lies.
I don't believe it's necessary to discuss this any further. But I want to assure you, Skyler, I have never made a more difficult decision in my entire life. You are my nephew. My only flesh and blood relative in this entire world.
Yes, that's true, isn't it?
I honestly believe that you know more about this case than you're willing to admit. You lied about the watches. And I'm convinced that you lied. Because you were in the dance studio that night before the police arrived.
Will you stop her? Because this is getting
Tell me
ridiculous.
something, Geraldine. If you believe that I was in the dance studio that night, do you also believe that I hit Miles Cavanaugh on the head and knocked him unconscious?
No, of Of course not. That's
Could
true.
you believe that I would allow Gunther Wagner to bleed to death? Is that what you think?
Skyler, I don't want to cover this ground anymore. I have said what I've had to say. I simply want you to know that I did it to help that poor young man.
That poor young murderer, you mean. And I hope that he rots in jail for the rest of his life.
Goodbye, Raven. Skyler, I hope you have a wonderful trip. I'll send someone for the rest of my things.
I know it must hurt, baby.
She was like a mother to me, and she turned on us.
Do you remember what we promised each other? That it was going to be you and me. You and me against the world.
Yeah. It seems like it's come down to that, doesn't it?
I love you, Raven. And if you love me, you'll trust me. Do you love me too?
Miles, I'm sorry about the short notice on it, but Doc Fisher just can make it.
It's the least I can do after you took care of my emergency last night.
Hey, you don't have to apologize to me about that. In fact,
You were saying?
no. Well, yeah. In fact, maybe I should thank you for giving me the chance to go over and see Jinx again last night. I guess you must realize I like the girl.
The thought had occurred to me, otherwise I wouldn't have called you. So went all right, I suppose. She got out of her depression?
Yeah, I think she did.
Good, I'm glad to hear it.
Well, it took a little while. She wanted to know all about me. I had to tell her how I work and what I do and my innermost thoughts. Hell, I told her things I wouldn't tell my psychiatrist, if I had a psychiatrist.
Well, sometimes that's very good therapy, you know, talking like that, not only for the talker, but for the listener.
You know, Miles, I think I know what her problem is.
You do?
Yeah. And I think you were right. I think it's her work. This acting business. She's wanted it so long and so hard, and it's just not happening fast enough. The hell, that would depress anybody.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right.
But she's joined a new, well, the acting company that's taken over Gavin Wiley's old studio.
Right, maybe that'll do her some good.
I sure hope so. Yes, come in.
Oh, good morning.
For heaven's sake, how are you, Jinx?
You surely have timing.
Well, it's good to see you.
You too. We were just talking about you, as a matter of fact. Listen, I hope you're not too angry with me about last night.
Oh, well, you should be angry at me. I mean, that was awful for me to call you in the middle of the night and cry on your shoulder. And then when Derek told me that you started rounds at 7:30, well, I felt awful.
It's all right. Just finished them, as a matter of fact. Now I've got another medical chore to perform.
Well, don't tell me that the chief needs a doctor. Well, he seems quite healthy to me.
I do need a doctor, but it's not for me personally. I need some forensic work done.
Forensic? That sounds forbidding.
Well, it may sound that way, but it's not really. But Jinx, you came a few hours early for lunch.
Well, you told me to come early and that you would show me around the headquarters.
Oh, yeah, I did, but I'm going to have somebody from the Public Relations Department do that. I can't leave my desk now.
Oh, well, that's fine. Miles, isn't this wonderful? I mean, the last time I was here, I was a lawbreaker, and now I'm a sightseer.
Well, yes, it is wonderful. It's also wonderful to see you in such good spirits.
Well, that's thanks to you, Doc.
You know, Val, you and I are really going to have to work harder at coordinating our days off, you know?
I don't get days off, Kelly. I happen to work for a very strict boss.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the troubles of being self-employed.
Well, remember what the Pilgrim Fathers said?
What's that?
If you don't work, you don't eat.
Oh, talking about eating. You want to go to lunch? Can we? Huh?
Yeah, sure, I suppose so.
Well, don't overwhelm me with your enthusiasm.
I'm sorry. I'd be delighted to have lunch with you, Kelly. Is that better?
Ah, that's much better. When can we go, huh?
Look, I just don't know. I have a lot of work to do first.
Oh, that's okay. Work fascinates me.
Yeah, I know. You could watch it for hours.
Yeah, I think I could watch you for the rest of my life. It's becoming a habit for me.
The trouble is, I have to shoot a portrait this morning, and I really don't think my clients want an audience.
Oh, hey, come on. I won't get in the way or anything. I might even be able to help. I'll ask him to watch the birdie.
I don't think that's going to be necessary.
I can make him laugh. I can make him laugh. Watch. Huh.
Oh,
Hey, funny face, huh? That's funny, huh?
thanks,
Yeah?
but no thanks.
It's not funny. Oh, there's got to be something I can do. Okay, I'll move. Here, how about this?
Kelly.
Look, I'm sorry. I can't be with you for more than 5 minutes without wanting to put my arms around you.
Well, I usually don't complain, do I?
Then why start now?
Because there's a time and a place for everything.
Is this any way to start a new year?
I have a New Year's resolution, and that is to put this studio on a paying basis.
Yeah, well, I have a New Year's resolution, too. You want to hear it?
What?
It's to see more of you in 82. That's my slogan.
Very clever.
Oh, thank you. And I think the best way to accomplish that is to make a more exclusive arrangement.
A what?
The best way to keep the Jim Dietrichsons out of my world, maybe, is to marry you.
Here we are, ready for our picture.
Hello. Hi, Kelly, Val.
Hi, come on in.
Hi, Gavin, Jody. So you're the two who are having your portrait made.
You got it.
Very good.
It's our Christmas present to each other. Just we had to wait until after Christmas to get it done.
Well, we couldn't afford much else. And considering the way things are, a picture of us together would be very nice to have in the near future.
More for luck, okay? Just relax, brush your hair back a little bit. Okay, and... Oh! Well, that's it. That's all I'm going on. That didn't hurt too much, did it?
No, I didn't feel a thing.
I did.
Hey, wait, you want me to get one like that?
No. Not you.
Okay.
Listen, we really appreciate this, Val. As I said, it's going to mean a lot to both of us.
Well, I just hope I do a good job.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I mean, I've seen some of the other pictures you've taken, and they are marvelous. Thank you.
I only have one complaint. That price that you quoted us seems a little bit too low.
No, it's my, special New Year's introductory offer, really. Now, I am going to start developing these so that you can have them as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Good.
Listen, babe, have you heard anything since last night? Has anybody called?
No, Cliff called. That's about it. He didn't sound too optimistic about it.
And Raven and Sky Whitney leave for Europe today.
That's right.
That's right.
I knew it wasn't going to work, Jody. Anybody who's ever met Raven once before would have known that. She only thinks of herself.
Now, come on. Miles and Nicole think we really opened her eyes, and that we made her realize what her husband is.
Oh, we opened her eyes all right. But mark my words, they shut again as soon as she got home. She does not want to believe the truth.
You know, I wish we knew the whole truth behind Skyler Whitney.
Is that going in the trunk, Mrs. Whitney?
No, Spencer, this is a piece of hand luggage. I'll keep it on my lap.
Good. I don't think there's another inch of room left.
Yeah, that's what my husband keeps saying. Oh, by the way, he's outside trying to repack the trunk. Maybe you want to help him.
Yes, I think I'd better.
Don't worry about it. I'll get it.
Hello.
Raven, it's Danny and Tyler. Look, I have something very important to ask you.
What?
It's about Bobby Gerard.
Oh, Damien, please. Why does everyone keep asking me questions about her when I don't have the answers?
Raven, the girl is dead. She was young and her life is gone.
I told you I don't know what happened to her.
You may have been the last one to have seen her. You may be the only one who can give us a clue about what might have happened to her.
I'll give you any clues when I'm ready to go catch a plane in an hour.
But something might occur to you, some little thing, something she said or someone she mentioned. Look, Raven, all I'm asking you to do is to let me know. Look, call me from Switzerland or London or Paris or Kathmandu or wherever you may go. Call me collect. Will you do that for me, please?
All right, but I just don't know what good it'll do.
Who's that?
It's a girlfriend. Look, Harriet, I'll call you when I get back, okay? Bye-bye. Did you get everything in?
Yeah, just barely. It's in the car, but I don't know whether there's going to be room in the airplane. I understand that there are other passengers in this flight.
Yeah, well, don't worry. It'll all be all right.
Okay.
So, are we ready to go?
Yeah, just here. Here, I'll do that. All I gotta do is I have to check the alarm system, go around, make sure that the windows and doors are locked and things like that. You don't keep it going, sorry. Why don't you wait outside? I'll be up in a minute. Oh, yeah. I am gonna be really happy to be out of this place. For a while, anyway.
Anything about what happened last night?
Well, I don't know. It was his idea in the first place.
Well, I think all he wanted you to do was to, hold my hand.
Look, what difference does it make? So what if he even knows?
But you didn't tell him anything, did you?
Of course I didn't tell him anything. What do you think I am? I'm a gentleman. And even if I wasn't a gentleman, believe me, Miles is gentleman enough for the two of us.
Yes, he strikes me that way. I don't think I know many men like him.
Now, wait a minute. Have you included me in that?
Oh, well, I think that you're wonderful. In your own way.
I'm glad you think that.
Oh, I do.
Oh, excuse me, Chief. You told me to come right in. Look, I'll
It's all right, Calvin. Come in. Come in. This is Miss Avery. This is one of my officers, Calvin Stoner.
Well, it's nice to meet you.
No, likewise.
Miss Avery was just going to wait for me outside.
Oh, yes. The reservations are for 12:15.
I'll be ready.
Okay. Bye.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Come on in, Stoner. Anderson said you were 2 hours late. What happened?
Hey, I'm afraid it was our pal, Tyler.
You went to see him last night, didn't you?
Yeah, and it's a good thing I did, too. He was trying to run some kind of a record fever. I tried to talk the guy into going back to the hospital, but you know how stubborn he is.
What are we going to have to do? Tie that guy into the bed?
It's okay. He's all right now. I sort of camped out there last night, and the fever was broken this morning. He says he'll take it easy until he's recovered.
No, I'm gonna have to chew him out next time I see him. There's no reason for one of my officers to be taking such poor care of himself. I want to thank you for taking care of him.
No sweat. But there is one thing I want to mention to you, Chief. Damien blames this on the fever, and I suppose that might have something to do with it, but I think he believes this new theory of his.
Wait a minute. What new theory?
It's about the Bobby Gerard case. Tyler believes that Skyler Whitney killed her.
For what reason?
For the same reason he switched the two pocket watches.
I don't understand how those two relate.
Look, Bobby Gerard was not at the Whitney household for her health. I mean, she went there to find that second watch, to prove that Sky was a liar. She thought that was the best way she had of helping Gavin.
And?
Well, Tyler thinks that she got too close to the truth, and that Skyler Whitney knew how close she was, and that he took her for a ride.
Spencer? All right, everything's buttoned up top. How's basement look?
Everything's in order, sir. I just have to put out the fire.
All right, no, let that burn out. You see my passport?
No, sir.
I think it's okay.
Skyler,
Yeah.
look what I found.
So you found a lost shoe. What's
It's not my shoe. I think that this shoe belongs to Bobby Gerard.
Well, maybe Bobby lost it or left it here or something. I
found
don't
it
know.
under the front seat of the car.
Well, then you must be mistaken. It's obviously not Bobby's shoe. It
There's
belongs
been
to somebody
other
else.
women in the car.
I don't know. Maybe Spencer had somebody joyriding.
It's
a little trippy or
Bobby's shoe.
something.
I know it's Bobby's shoe. That means she's been in our car.
Raymond, we have got 1 hour before our flight leaves. It's an international flight. It takes time to get
The
ready.
police told me if there was anything unusual about Bobby that I remembered, I should call them, and I think that this is a little unusual.
What are you doing?
It'll only take a few minutes.
No, you're not. If we take 1 minute now, I am canceling the whole damn trip.
Skyler!
If we don't leave now, we don't leave.
All right. Then I'll call from the airport.
We won't have time. Now, why don't you go outside and wait in the car, and I'll turn off the lights. Okay?
Raven, why have you done this to me? Why?
And it's got to be at Harrison's before 5 o'clock, got it?
Yes, sir.
And I think that, oh, yeah, there is one thing that you ought to know about. Mrs. Saxon is not going to be staying at the residence any longer.
For how long, sir?
Permanently, it seems. But that's going to cause a bit of a problem. Since you wanted to take some time off next week while we're gone, you're going to have to find a caretaker or someone to look after the house.
Well, don't worry about a thing, Mr. Whitney. I will take care of it.
Yeah, I'm sure you will, Spencer. I'm sure you will. Well, listen, there's no point in you hanging around here. Why don't you go home to the house and make sure that everything's taken care of there?
Yes, sir. Well, goodbye. Goodbye, Mrs. Whitney. I hope you have a wonderful trip.
Thank you, Spencer. Raven. Spencer is leaving.
Bye, Spencer.
Say, baby, you're a million miles away. It's like you're in Switzerland already. What's up?
Something on my mind.
Oh. Still brooding about Geraldine, huh? Well, look, I know that she was a wonderful woman and a good companion for you and everything like that, but, frankly, in my opinion, she seems to have been spending a lot of time meddling lately, and it's
I'm
all
not
for the best.
really thinking about Geraldine. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about Bobby's shoe. Why was it in the car?
I thought that we agreed that
I
we
just
weren't...
think that I should have called the police because it seems like it's very important.
Raven, if you had called the police, we would have been delayed. And we wouldn't have been delayed by a couple of hours. We would have been delayed days or maybe weeks. Do you want that?
No.
No. Neither do I. Now, please forget about Bobby's shoe. I have. Let's go.
Where did Bobby go that day? The day she died. She wanted to help Gavin. I dreamed I was talking to her. I was trying to interrogate her, Calvin. Trying to make her tell me where she went when she left the Whitney house.
She might have gone anywhere, Damien, including Hoffman's antique jewelry store.
I just can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop seeing Bobby and Sky Whitney in those woods. God help me, Calvin. I think Whitney killed her.
A blood-stained shirt.
What?
There's blood all over the front of the shirt, just like Gunther. Yeah, Detective Stoner.
Calvin, this is Damien.
Hey, buddy, how you feeling?
I'm a little shaky, but I feel a lot better, thanks.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear. You need anything?
Actually, I do. I'd like you to explain something that you told me yesterday. Something about a blood-stained shirt?
You must have really been out of it. And all that time, I thought I was getting through to you.
Well, actually, I was so feverish, I really couldn't understand what you were talking about, but I remember you said something about Gavin's old studio.
Right. Gavin and Jody and I went over to his old studio to sort of reenact Gunther's shooting.
Yeah, I remember that much.
Well, now, there's this guy, Jim Dietrichson, who's running an acting school here now, so he decided he would play the part of Gunther.
What happened?
Well, he and Gavin got to the point when they were actually acting out the struggle over the gun, you know. They were using a cap pistol, of course, but the gun goes off. Bang! Dietrichson falls to the floor. Gavin turns him over, and the entire front of his shirt is covered in blood. It was fake, of course, but it looked absolutely authentic, you know?
And Jim Dietrichson doesn't fool around, does he?
He did everything but stop breathing.
Look, fake gun, fake bullets, fake blood. How does it all tie in?
Look, my friend, I think right now you're really not in the kind of shape where you ought to be thinking about much of anything, so why don't you just knock it off and get some rest?
Yeah, sure, Calvin, sure.
Now, don't just say sure, Calvin, sure. I mean, really do it. You know, I just left the chief's office, and he gave me hell for being late, but that's nothing by comparison to what you're going to get for taking such lousy care of yourself.
Okay, Calvin, okay, but I'm just not going to be able to rest until I solve this riddle.
I am home. What? No martini?
Cliff, did everything work out all right?
Oh, great. We got a postponement.
Terrific.
For what it's worth. The trial won't take place for 2-3 weeks. Pray for a miracle.
Daily.
Dede, suppose I would introduce some evidence, I don't know, about personal effects on the body, and wind the conversation around to the watch.
Cliff, you know there's no chance of that. There is no evidence.
I know, but I gotta try something. Anything.
Well, one thing is for sure, you won't be able to get Skyler Whitney on the stand. He and his wife left for Switzerland today.
Not too sure I'd want Skyler Whitney on the stand anyway.
Why not?
Okay, you be the jury, okay? Skyler Whitney's called to the stand. You see this calm, collected, well-dressed pillar of society walk to the stand, silver-tongued devil, testify and make these snide comments about how the fugitive defendant was somehow able to get out for the Christmas holidays in the custody of the coroner who performed the autopsy in this case, who happens to be the brother-in-law of the girlfriend of the defendant.
Not to mention the fact that you're the defense attorney and you used to work for the DA.
Oh, yeah, you'd have a good time with that one, too. Anyway, all the time he'd sit there and this pillar of society would lie through his teeth. Then Gavin Wiley takes the stand and proceeds to blow his cool at the mention of Gunther, or Jody, or the weather. Now, which one would you believe?
You know, Cliff, you're right. It's probably just as well that Skyler Whitney is in Switzerland. He might hurt Gavin's case more than help it. By the way, what is Gavin's bail status? Will he be able to remain free until the trial?
He will be able to remain free. It's been arranged.
Yeah! Hallelujah!
Are you really that happy to see me?
Julius.
Hi, Cliff.
Oh, Julius. Hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks. And I'd be finer if you'd have lunch with me today, Dede.
Julius, I'd really love to, but I can't. I have so much to do. I was planning on working right through the lunch hour.
You'll do nothing of the kind. You're going to have lunch with me. And before we get to dessert and coffee, you're going to answer that question I asked you last week.
Well, this is very nice. I've never been here before.
Well, I'll tell you something, Phil. This is even nicer for me. I don't usually have such pleasant diversions from the hassles of headquarters.
Too many desk lunches aren't good for you.
Now you sound like Miles. Miles always tells me that.
I always knew that Miles had some connection with the police department, but I never knew what his duties were.
Well, he's kind of a medical advisor to the whole department. He works very closely with the ME.
M.E.?
Medical examiner.
Oh, so more specifically, he does autopsies, right?
Well, I was trying to avoid saying that here, but yeah, that's part of what he does.
I don't know how he stands it. I mean, it seems so awful.
Yeah, it doesn't sound pleasant, does it? But it's a very important part of the police investigation. A murder, for example, well, we rely upon scientific evidence there. We can't legally call a murder until we have medical proof of the cause of death. Do we have to talk about this now?
Oh, well, I'm sorry, but I'm finding it fascinating. Please, go on.
Oh, dear? Well, there's a case right now where Miles has shown that this man was shot from a distance of at least 10 feet away. But the defendant claims that he shot the man accidentally while struggling for the gun, you know, face to face. So obviously when Miles gets in the chair and testifies, it's going to blow the defense.
So what he does for your department is very important.
Sometimes it's crucial.
You know, I'd love to be in court the day he testifies. I mean, I'd really like to see that. If I'm still here.
What do you mean if you're still here? Is there a chance you might not be?
Who knows where one will be from one day to the next?
Well, you wouldn't leave town just all of a sudden like, would you?
Well, no. Hollywood may call any day. Who knows?
Well, if it's just Hollywood, then maybe I should see as much of it as I possibly can before you go. What are you doing tonight?
Well, I'm afraid I have an acting class.
After class.
Derek, do you like me?
Very much.
Do you think you love me? Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't fair of me to ask that. I was only joking. I mean, you haven't known me long enough to be able to answer that question. And you're in no particular hurry, are you?
No.
No. No hurry. Not like some of us.
Oh, now, let's see what we have here.
Julius, would you put that down for a minute, please? I want to warn you that I am no more prepared to give you an answer to that question than I was to have lunch with you today.
I have a reason for being insistent, Dede. I have to have an answer soon. You see, I may be leaving Monticello.
After playing against some pretty tall competition, you probably think I shower with the deodorant soap. Not anymore, because I made a break from deodorant soaps. A clean break with Ivory. Look inside. Ivory's a basic natural soap. Not like soaps that leave deodorants or heavy perfumes all over you. With Ivory, I feel clean, I smell clean. That's an honest clean.
Make a clean break with Ivory. No soap can get you cleaner, no matter what size diction.
How did an acupuncturist save Sylvester Stallone's honeymoon? Inquiring minds want to know.
I want to know.
How did these top celebs get taken by a con man? This week's National Enquirer tells you one of the best tips from the best new diet book. Can massaging yourself erase painful tension?
It's in the Enquirer.
What kinds of guys make the worst mates? Find out in the Enquirer. Over 100 features for people with inquiring minds.
Like me.
I'm Charles Schwab. Over 1 million investors who make their own investment decisions trade with us. Here are a few reasons why.
Bill, I got some advice for you. It won't help your golf game, but it'll do wonders for your wallet.
I'm listening, Jay.
I've been buying and selling stock through Charles Schwab.
Schwab, he's a discount broker.
Right. I've been saving 50, 60, sometimes over 70% on commissions.
Well, I've heard of Schwab, but frankly, I've wondered what kind of service I might get from a discount broker.
Schwab will surprise you. I've never had better service or faster trade executions anywhere. And of course, there's no sales pressure.
Good. I hate sales calls, and I like to save money. Schwab sounds like my kind of broker.
For a free booklet on how you can save up to 76% on brokerage commissions, call 800-458-6400, toll free. That's 800-458-6400. Charles Schwab, a Bank America.
In 1863, when Dr. Tishner created his all-natural, long-lasting, good-tasting mouthwash, antiseptic, and gargle, Dr. Tishner's stood alone. Since then, a lot of new products have come along. But if you were to take away the ones that aren't all-natural, aren't as long-lasting, or as good-tasting, you'd find Dr. Tishner's still stands alone. Dr. Tishner's. It's much more than just another mouthwash.
You're leaving Monticello. Why? What's happened?
Well, actually, it's a bit of good luck. I've been offered a position with a prestigious firm in Chicago.
Julius, that's wonderful. I'm really happy for you.
I'll have to give up some of the independence that I've enjoyed here, but in the long run, I'll gain a lot more in money and advancement.
Congratulations. You deserve it. It sounds like a great opportunity.
Oh, congratulations are in order. But only if you'll come with me. If you'll say yes to my question.
Julius, I really haven't had a chance to think.
We could have a terrific life together in Chicago. It's a great town, you know? Everything in the world anyone can ask for in the way of opportunities. And the challenges are unlimited.
But this is my home now. This is where I've started to build my career, my partnership with Cliff.
Dede, what did Cliff do before you joined forces? And you can build a bigger career in Chicago. A big city has a bigger crime problem. And they need more and better good lawyers, you know. Don't you see?
Oh, Julius, you do make it sound tempting.
I mean to.
But that's not fair. It was a tough enough question to answer before, and now it's even twice as difficult.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it would be easy. It all seemed so perfect.
I'm sorry, too. But if you need your answer in a hurry, then the answer has to be no.
Well, I'm not in that much of a hurry. Oh, Dede, I don't want to complicate things when they're really very simple. I love you, that's all.
Oh, Julius, I'm so sorry. I guess I just need more time.
Is it, Well, I haven't actually accepted the position yet. In fact, if you make staying here a condition, then so be it. I'll take you, Dede, not the job.
Not again. Is that you? This is Calvin.
Oh, hi, Calvin. How you doing?
I'm fine. Look, is the Bannister part of Nelson and Bannister there?
Well, no, she's not here right now.
She isn't. Look, if she's avoiding talking to me, tell her it's a question about a client of hers.
No, honestly, Calvin, she's not here right now.
Oh. Well, where is she? Do you know?
Right now, she's having lunch with Julius. And, if I were you, my friend, I'd prepare yourself for some bad news.
Oh? How come?
It's D-Day for Dede.
D-Day? What's that supposed to mean?
Decision Day. Julius is asking her for a decision right now.
And I want some photographs of the Diedrichson group in rehearsal, too.
Fine.
Now, this is a proposed outline of the feature, starting with the idea of that it's a new cultural force in Monticello. An interview of Jim Diedrichson himself. I don't think that we should put too much emphasis on the fundraising aspect of this project. I think we should just start out with the idea that it's a repertory company that, for all intents and purposes, is a homegrown product. So if you agree with that concept... Geraldine?
Oh. It sounds just right, dear.
No, we could talk about this later if you'd like.
No, I'm sorry, Nancy. I'm just distracted this morning. Well, distraught would be closer to the mark.
What is it? I'm a very good listener.
You're among the best. The fact is, as odd as this may sound, for the first time in years, I find myself without lodgings.
What do you mean?
No, it's true. I had trouble all morning trying to find a hotel suite. All the hotels in Monticello seem to be very overcrowded.
Well, now, why on earth would you be looking for a hotel suite when you have a home?
No longer, my dear. At least not with Skyler and Raven.
Well, sure. Oh. You mean it's something that came out of that confrontation with Raven at Sid's place?
Yes. Well, I knew I was running a risk by being a part of it. I knew that I might incur Raven's anger and even her enmity. But I just didn't see how I could say no.
None of us could, for that matter.
Exactly. The most important thing is the possible innocence of Gavin Wiley. And no one has a right to tamper with that.
I agree.
I hate to admit this, But it seems quite obvious to me that Skyler has not been telling the truth. It's even possible that he may have been partially responsible for the death of Gunther Wagner.
It's terrible for you to have to think that, I know.
And Nancy, it's absolutely unthinkable. But the fact is, I know he's lied to me and he's lied to Raven, but she doesn't believe it. She absolutely refuses to believe the truth when it's laid right out in front of her.
Well, Geraldine, sometimes it seems to me that Raven prefers a favorable lie to an unfavorable truth.
Yes. But how much longer can she go on trying to convince herself that black is white, that truth is falsehood, and that the reality in front of her eyes is not real at all? If she were to see at the edge of a cliff right in front of her, and then deny that it was there, would she just walk off the cliff? That's what frightens me, Nancy.
Mrs. Whitney, would you care for a drink before luncheon is served?
Yeah, white wine, please.
I'd like a scotch on the rocks.
Certainly.
We're finally on our way, lovely. Oh, this is going to be such a wonderful trip. It's going to be idyllic. Just the two of us. And I've got a few little surprises up my sleeve for us, too. I can't wait to get back. It's such a beautiful country. It's breathtaking. Oh, and there's going to be a helicopter meeting us at the airport, and surprise number one, I managed to get a private chalet up on top of the mountain just for the two of us. Hey, you want to tell me how come this conversation has turned into a monologue? It's like talking to the Sphinx or something. What's going on?
I have something on my mind.
Yeah, I can tell that. Well, what's on your mind?
Bobby Gerard's shoe again. I can't help it, Skyler. I'm just wondering if it was the same shoe that I saw on her foot when she left.
What a mess. My daughter left a lipstick in her pocket, and before I even noticed, I washed it. I had to try something, so I grabbed Liquid Tide. Guess what? Not one mark of the lipstick remained. Thanks, Mrs. Judy Davis.
Can your liquid get out melted lipstick? Liquid Tide did. You'll be surprised at the things Liquid Tide gets out. Surprise yourself.
When it's time to close your bag, are you going to rely on something wimpy or something hefty?
Hefty, hefty, hefty. Hefty.
The cinch sack from Hefty. Fill it up and it closes up. Reopen it and put in more.
Hefty, hefty, hefty.
Want a bag that'll close every time? Then don't send a wimpy bag to do a hefty job.
Hefty.
The amazing cinch sack from Hefty.
Oh, your five-alarm chili's hot stuff.
Yeah, but how do we get rid of the grease? With a hose?
Looky, we use Dawn. Dawn scatters grease, clears it away like a house of fire, helps keep it away.
Ha! Look what I found in your boot.
Wash that? After all those greasy dishes?
Yep.
Looks as clean as the first.
You're learning, rookie.
And my hands don't feel greasy. So, what's on the menu for tomorrow night?
An old family recipe. Swedish meatball.
Dawn takes grease out of your way.
These are the amazing Lee press-on nails. They press on in seconds. No glue, no mess. Simply press on Lee Super Stick tabs. Then press on Lee press-on nails. That's all. Easy on, easy off. Use them again and again. They just won't break or split. Polish, and they're nearly impossible to chip. So press on Lee press-on nails. In natural and glamour lengths and a variety of sizes for a quick, easy fit. Press on.
The Wildcat hunt is on. Sharpshooter Tony White and the Tennessee Volunteers take aim at the conference-leading Kentucky Wildcats. USA's College Basketball 86, the final mix, tomorrow.
There you are.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, Raven, I am sick to death about hearing of Bobby Gerard and Bobby Gerard's shoes. Now, what do you think? The girl went on hobbling around barefoot?
It doesn't explain.
I happen to know, I'm certain of the fact that the shoe wasn't hers. I know it for a fact.
How do you know that?
Look, I wasn't going to tell you this because, well, I promised Spencer I'd keep it confidential, but, I spoke to him. He had a girl in the car, in the limo. I guess he was trying to impress her, you know, one thing led to another. She ended up going home barefoot. Don't ask me why.
You're kidding. That doesn't sound like Spencer.
Well, you never can tell about certain people. Now, that's it, all right? It's over. It's done with you. Now, forget about it.
All right. But it still looked like Bobby Gerard's shoe.
Here comes solid gold. Solid